Cotabato City, officially the City of Cotabato, is one of the independent component cities located in Mindanao, Philippines. According to the 2015 census, it has a population of 299,438. Cotabato City is the regional center of the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao, but the city is administratively part of the Soccsksargen region, which is composed of the provinces of South Cotabato, Sultan Kudarat, and Saranggani, as well as the highly urbanized city of General Santos. For geographical purposes, it is grouped with the province of Maguindanao, or for statistical reasons sometimes grouped with the province of Cotabato, and does not belong to the ARMM. Cotabato City is distinct from and should not be confused with the province of Cotabato. History. The name Cotabato was derived from the Maguindanao word Cotabato and the Malay Bruneian word of Cotabato, or city of stone. Kota means city or fortress, and Batu mean rock or stone. Cotabato City had witnessed more history than any other place in Mindanao. Its history dates back to the 15th century when Sharif Karbunchuin, a Johor-born missionary of Malay and Arab descent, landed along the banks of the Rio Grande de Mindanao and introduced Islam to the natives. Islam was the faith that moved the early settlers to communal life, and to establish the Sultanate of Maguindanao with its golden age ushered in by Sultan Kudarat during the 17th century, the time when Cotabato City developed as the capital town of Maguindanao. In the 19th century, when Sultan Makakua ruled, roads and wharfs were constructed which gave rise to the birth of modern-day Cotabato. However, the then municipality of Cotabato was first organized at the later part of the 19th century when the Spaniards established a military post at what is now Barangay Tamantaka, one of the earliest Christian settlements founded south of the Philippines. Spaniards already took with them Shabakanos and Shabakano-speaking Muslims from Zamboanga and Basilan and Cebuanos. Shabakanos being brought by Spaniards of the reason of existing Shabakano dialect in Cotabato City called Cotabatino, evolved from Zamboangano. Cotabato was then officially founded in 1862 when the Pueblo de Cotabato was established. Christianity was introduced in the area in around the year 1870. Following the Spanish evacuation in Yan, 1899, Datu Piang led the Moros in a massacre of the remaining Christian community, enslaving those they did not kill. Americans arrived in Mindanao in 1900 after the Spanish-American War ended in 1898. Cotabato town was part of Moro Province and of Department of Mindanao and Sulu from 1903 to 1920, when the Empire Province of Cotabato, referred to as Moroland by the Americans, was founded with the town as the capital, with Datu Piang, known as the Grand Old Man of Cotabato, as its first governor. Several towns were carved off from Cotabato town beginning in the year 1936, with Dulawan and Mitsayap being the first ones which were incorporated as regular municipalities. In 1942, at the beginning of the Pacific Front of World War II, the Japanese imperial forces entered what is now Maguindanao Province. In 1945, Maguindanao was liberated by Allied Philippine Commonwealth troops and Muslim Maguindanaoan guerrilla units after defeating the Japanese imperial forces in the Battle of Maguindanao during the Second World War. Several towns were carved off from Cotabato town since the year 1913, with Piquet being the first one founded by Cebuano Christian colonists. Dulawan and Mitsayap were incorporated as towns in 1936. In August 18, 1947, just 2 years after the Second World War and a year after the official inauguration of Philippine independence, the number of towns in the gigantic Cotabato province were multiplied by Executive Order No. 82 signed by President Manuel Roxas, namely, Kidapawan, Pagalungan, Buan, Marbel, Parang, Nuling, Dinaig, Salaman, Bulawan, Kiamba, and Cabacan. A total of 11 towns added to the previous 4 towns. The newly founded towns of Cabuntalan, Piquet, and Glan added up in September 30, 1949. More and more newly created towns added up in the province's number of towns as the province entered the second half of the 20th century. On July 1, 1950, the then municipality of Cotabato was made first-class municipality under Executive Order No. 466. 9 years later, it became a city on July 10, 1959, and on June 20, 1959 it was officially created into a chartered city by virtue of Republic Act No. 2364. During the beginning of the 1950s up to the mid-1970s, Cotabato City was by far the second largest and most progressive city in Mindanao, after Davao City, with its population of more than 200,000 people residing in the city that time. However, mass insurgencies and much disorder between Christians and local Muslims in the region began in the mid-1960s during the Marcos administration, capitulated into the city's economic decline. So the provincial government moved its provisional capital to Pagalungan in 1967 to avoid internal strife in the city. This made the city mostly isolated to other important economic centers in Mindanao. The city used to be part of the original province of Cotabato and was its capital from 1920 until 1967, a year after the separation of South Cotabato. Since then the city was the administrative center of the ARMM when Maguindanao was carved out in 1973. However, the city broke off administratively from Maguindanao as it rejoined Soccsksargen in the 1990s. Now many sources consider the city as part of the present Cotabato province, although geographically it is still considered part of Maguindanao. Geography. Cotabato is approximately 698.9 nautical miles from Manila, the country's capital, and is bounded by the municipalities of Sultan Kudarat to the north with Rio Grande de Mindanao separating the two, Cabuntalan to the east, and Atuotan Sinchit to the south. The city faces Ilana Bay, part of the Moro Gulf, to the west. Cotabato City has a total land area of 176.0 square kilometers, located at the mouth of the Rio Grande de Mindanao and Pulangi River. Barangays. Cotabato City is politically subdivided into 37 barangays. Climate. Under the Köppen climate classification system, Cotabato City features a tropical rainforest climate, falling just short of a tropical monsoon climate. Demographics. The majority of the inhabitants of Cotabato City are Maguindanaoan, comprising about 66% of the city's population. There are sizable ethnic populations of Maranaos, Tagalog, Cebuano and Ilonggo. The remainder of the population belongs to other ethnicities. The main language is Maguindanao. Other languages spoken in Cotabato City are Cebuano, Ilonggo and Chavacano, spoken by both Christians and Muslims, as well as Tagalog, Maranao, English and Arabic. The dialect evolved from Chavacano native to Cotabato City is called Cotabatino. Religion. Today, the majority of the city's population is Muslim, comprising about 80% of the population. The majority of Muslims in Cotabato City are Sunnis. The majority of Christians in Cotabato City are Roman Catholics, most of whom are Cebuanos and Chavacanos. Economy. Cotabato City, historically, during its heyday as the capital of the Maguindanao Sultanate, has been the most economically prosperous city in the island of Mindanao. Its prosperity has been taken away by civil internal strife beginning in the 1970s. However, once it became part of Soccsksargen region and in the 1990s, its economy began a radical economic recovery. As of now, the city currently serves as the center for economic support activities, trade and finance, education and other support services such as social, physical, cultural and other basic services of central Mindanao. It is now struggling to gain its lost glory. Tourism. Landmark and parks. Rio Grande de Mindanao, the second largest river in the Philippines and the longest in Mindanao, crisscrossing, with its tributary, the city's vast area, estimated to be 182 kilometers long and 96 meters wide. Water sports and boat racing are the popular attractions of the river, usually held to coincide with the Sharif Kabunchuan festival and the feast of Hari Raya Puasa. It is known among the locals by its original pre-Hispanic name, the Pulangi River. Sultan Haji Hassan al-Bolkiah Masjid. The grandeur of the Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah Masjid, which reportedly costs $48 million, dominates the landscape of Barangay Kalanganan. Its minarets measure 43 meters high, on top of which are pilots' lights to avoid aerial accidents at night. The height is equivalent to a 15-story building. Crescent moons adorn the domes painted in gold. The mosque can accommodate 800 male and 400 female worshippers. A fountain will be among the main features of the courtyard. Church of the Immaculate Conception of Tamontaca, the oldest church of Spanish architecture and design, was built by the Jesuits. This is where the old settlement was built in 1872. During the 1976 earthquake, a portion of the church collapsed, but the Oblate Fathers restored the ruined parts following the original design. Immaculate Concepcion Cathedral. It is the central Mindanao center of Catholic preaching. With the huge bell tower and state-of-the-art building houses the Archdiocese of Cotabato. Lourdes Grotto, a replica of Our Lady of Lourdes Grotto in France. The compound is equipped with a retreat house for recollection and seminars, a mini-zoo and a children's park which opens only every Sunday. Cotabato Caves, the only caves in the country that is right in the heart of the city of the Cotabato Caves. Its various entrances, all within traffic, is a rarity that can only be had in the heart of Mindanao, Cotabato City. These caves were also the source of the city's present name, for Kuta means fort and Wato means stone, hence the name Fort of Stone, which later became Cotabato. Cotabato Caves, with its walls of white, beige and brownish shade, glitters in the dark and echoes a colorful past dating back to the days when no foreign foot yet trampled upon this island. This caves had given sanctuary to the natives when the Spaniards tried to convert them into the Castilian faith, and has thus served the purpose when Filipino guerrillas fought the invading force of the Japanese Imperial Army during the Second World War. When the Japanese firepower proved superior to that of the natives, the caves then used as an armory and even as a garrison. Within its confines, tortured and oppressed souls that thirst for freedom and democracy echoed the faint moans and cries that were buried in its bosoms, muted for over half a century. Formally reopened and blessed on September 19, 1996, the Outwait Caves of Cotabato Cotabato City has once again reverberated the voices of the Cotabatanos, this time however, in a peacefully happy tone. Located at the foot of the Tantawan, or PC Hill, the cave is reputed to be 7 kilometers long and a formidable, solid rock, having 4 major entrances. Each gaping mouth offers unique experience to its visitors. Old Cotabato City Hall, a century-old structure which houses Marines Camp but soon to be a city museum. It showcases the architectural design of the Maguindanao, not old provincial capital, an early American architecture. It was the seat of then Empire Province of Cotabato. It houses now by the reserved military soldiers. People's Palace, a majestic structure located at Malagapis, Barangay Rosary Heights 10, combining ethno-modern architectural with Muslim-inspired roof symbolizing its royalty and Roman art symbolizing the existence of Christianity in the city. The entire bureaucracy of the executive department are now housed under one roof. Parag Basketball Court, in events and entitled of the place in Kimpo nearly Barangay History year 1993 before formerly Mayor Lovidico Badoy in year 1996 was elected begin. 2 other city mayors be soon the Barangay Hall of the property entitled Begin Lanucht in 1999 and 2000 or Complex, the regional seat of the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao, which composed of different government offices of the entire region of ARMM and some offices of the Soccsksargen. Most buildings are built with state-of-the-art Islamic architecture. Takumi Butai Memorial Shrine, a monument in honor of Takumi Butai and the Japanese soldiers who died here during the Second World War. Takumi was the provincial commander of the Japanese forces assigned in Cotabato City. Before he died, he requested that some of his ashes be buried in Cotabato City. This shrine was put up by the Lions Club of Kyoto, Japan in cooperation with the city government of Cotabato. Tantawan Park. This park is built at the foot of Pedro Colina Hill, which stand the huge golden statue of Sultan Kudarat. Pedro Colina, a stone fort towering over the city with a height of 90 feet, now houses the Cotabato City Internal Defense Command. This is Cotabato City's famous landmark. This historic hill served as a watchtower for the natives in the defense drive to detect and repel assaults by enemies. For this hill, one can have a panoramic view of the city, its surrounding areas, and the Rio Grande de Mindanao. Timuco Hill, overlooking the Ilana Bay, it is protected by Bongo Island. The place is a good resort with blue-green waters, sandy white beach, lake and cave, wooded park and a river. Is ideal for camping, skin diving, snorkeling, boating, fishing and other water sports. It likewise offers nature lovers an ideal place for trekking, bird and white monkey watching and other leisure activities. The cultural village, which will be set at the foot of the hill, is a typical Maguindanao village where people practice the traditional crafts such as brass making, malong weaving, mat and basket weaving, boat building and bamboo crafts. It is also a sanctuary for oral and written traditions of the people, including laws, legends, dances, songs, rituals and other metaphysical culture of the tribe. Metal and Brass Foundry, located in Braji, MB Kalanganan, Cotabato City. This traditional working foundry manufactures brassware such as kulintangongs, traditional Muslim jars, and decorative souvenir items. Is the oldest and the only remaining brassware maker in Cotabato City, operated by the Mang family. It is the primary source of kulintang instruments in the region. The foundry has a showroom located in downtown Cotabato City, an all-weaving center located just outside Cotabato City, in Tamontaka, Datu Odin Sinsuat, Maguindanao Province. established by H. by Alitsa Albalbi Wampa. The center is a peace project which employs women weavers, and concentrates on non-traditional floor loom weaving of synthetic threads in traditional designs. The workshop displays examples of local weaving and patchwork, including a number of vintage pieces. Barter Trade Center. This marketplace in the south side of town caters to tourists and locals alike, and features different native goods, accessories and souvenir items. South Seas Mall. Cotabato City's first mall, a family-owned business serving the consumer needs of Cotabato City and its outlying municipalities. The business started in the early 1950s, when two families formed the Cotabato South Seas Trading Company. Events Aeon Cathedral. It is the biggest celebration in all of the city's festivals. It commemorates the city's charter anniversary, officially commencing on Independence Day. The 2 weeks of merrymaking is dotted with events like Agri-Aqua Product Showcase, exhibits of photographs and artworks, sports and traditional games, and other modern-day athletics. Capping the celebration is the selection of the city's fairest maiden in the search for the Aeon Cathedral and the mammoth civic, military, and cultural dance parade dubbed as the Liling Festival. Our Lady of Penafrancia Fiesta, celebrated in honor of Our Lady of Penafrancia. It is preceded with a Holy Mass and procession from the Immaculate Conception Cathedral to a waiting landing craft decked with colorful buntings, banana trunks, flowers and a brass band for its traditional fluvial procession at the Rio Grande. To watch or join the procession in fulfillment of a vow, hosted by the Bicolano Association of Cotabato City. This annual event is a replica of the same event in Naga City. Immaculate Conception Fiesta. The patroness of Cotabato City, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, is held from the first day of December, and it is marked by a trade fair, musical presentations, cultural presentations, drums and bugle corps contest, and the nightly novena mass in honor of the patroness. Sharif Karbunchuan Festival, celebrated in honor of Sharif Muhammad Karbunchuan, an Arab missionary from Johor who planted the seed of Islam in central Mindanao. With his arrival came the Sultanate form of government and royal houses, the madrasa system of education, trade, commerce, to name a few. On this event, dances, traditional games and sports are the regular activities. Highlights include a dance parade, banker race and the reenactment of his arrival. Transportation. Air Cotabato City can be reached via Awang Airport in neighboring Datu Oden Sinshu at Maguindanao, served by Cebu Pacific Manila to Cotabato, Philippine Airlines Manila to Cotabato. Land public transportation include bus operators Mindanao Star Husky Bus, Summer Express, public utility van routes Cagayan de Oro City, Iligan City, Ozamis City, Davao City, Kidapawan City, Municipality of Midsayap, General Santos City, Jeeps Kimpo Primary Jeep Center, Coronadal City, Mirawi City, Pagadian City, Zamboanga City. Sister cities: Ozamis City, Philippines; Iligan City, Philippines; Dipolog City, Philippines; Davao City, Philippines.